Hello, amazing students. Welcome to English with Sophie. Picture yourself in a room full of native English speakers. They're laughing at jokes, debating ideas, switching topics effortlessly. You understand everything. You can respond. But something feels off. There's a gap you can't name. You've studied grammar for years. Your vocabulary is strong. You pass tests easily. Yet native speakers still seem one step ahead. They use English in ways textbooks never taught you. The difference isn't about knowing more words. It's not about perfect grammar either. The gap is invisible, but it changes everything. What if all you're correct, English is actually holding you back from true mastery? Most advanced learners make one critical mistake. They still translate in their heads. You hear English, convert it to your language, think of a response, then translate back to English. This happens in milliseconds, but it kills fluency. Native speakers don't translate. They think directly in English. Ideas form already in English words. This makes them faster, smoother, more natural. When you think in English, responses flow automatically. No mental conversion needed. Your brain operates like a native brain. But here's the problem most teachers won't tell you. Thinking in English isn't just about words. It's about mental patterns, cultural references, automatic associations. The shift is deeper than you imagine. Even with perfect grammar, many C2 learners freeze. You know exactly what to say, the words are ready, but hesitation appears, you second-guess yourself. Is this phrase correct? Will they understand? Does this sound natural? This mental block kills confidence. It makes you sound uncertain even when you're right. Fear of mistakes creates pauses. Overthinking slows your speech. Native speakers don't hesitate because they trust their instincts. They don't analyze every sentence before speaking. But here's the secret. There's a mental trick that transforms hesitation into speed. It rewires how your brain processes English. Once you learn it, speaking becomes automatic. Coming up next. Speaking like a native requires structure, but not grammar structure, mental structure. Here's the 3-step hack. First, start with your main point. Don't build up slowly, say your conclusion first. I disagree, or that's brilliant, or here's the problem. Second, add one supporting reason. Just one, not 3, not 5. One clear reason. Third, give a quick example or personal connection. This creates natural flow. Native speakers use this pattern unconsciously. They state, support, and illustrate. That's it. No complex planning needed. Practice this with every response. Your speaking becomes organized, confident, clear. But structure alone won't make you sound native. There's something else. Intonation changes everything. You can say perfect sentences and still sound robotic. Why? Native rhythm is missing. English has natural stress patterns. Some words get emphasis, others shrink. Sentences rise and fall like music. I went to the store yesterday, not I went to the store yesterday. The melody matters. Listen closely to native speakers. They stretch important words. They compress unimportant ones. Their pitch changes constantly. This rhythm carries meaning beyond words. It shows emotion, certainty, surprise, doubt. Without it, your English sounds flat, textbook correct but lifeless. Record yourself speaking. Compare it to native speech. Hear the difference? Matching their rhythm makes you sound instantly more natural, but rhythm is just surface level. There's a deeper layer behind truly natural-sounding English. You probably know thousands of words, but knowing words and using them naturally are completely different. Advanced learners misuse vocabulary constantly, not because words are wrong, because collocations are wrong. Native speakers say make a decision, not do a decision. They take a shower, not make a shower. They have an argument, not do an argument. These patterns aren't logical. You can't translate them. You must learn them through exposure. Collocations make English sound native. Context matters too. Awesome works with friends, not job interviews. Utilize fits academic writing, not casual chat. The right words in wrong context still sound off. Master collocations and context, and suddenly your vocabulary comes alive. But words alone won't save you. Next, we fix your mindset completely. C2 listening is brutal. You catch every word but miss the meaning. Native speakers talk fast. They use slang, cultural references, implied ideas. They assume shared knowledge. You hear, can you pass the salt? But the real message is you're hogging the salt. You catch words but lose subtext. Here's the advanced trick. Predict what's coming next. Native speakers do this automatically. Someone says, I went to the store, and you already expect to buy or yesterday or but it was closed. Your brain fills gaps before they speak. This prediction makes comprehension instant. Train yourself by watching shows with subtitles. Pause before responses. Guess what they'll say next. Soon, prediction becomes automatic, but comprehension isn't enough. You must respond like a native instantly. Most learners think slowly, then try speaking fast, backwards. The trick is restructuring how thoughts form. Native speakers don't translate complex ideas into sentences. They think in sentence frames already. The thing is, what I mean is, here's the deal. These frames hold ideas. You fill them automatically. Instead of thinking, I believe that this situation requires careful consideration of multiple factors, just think the thing is, we need to look at this carefully. Same meaning. Faster delivery, natural sound. Practice common frames. Use them repeatedly until they're automatic. Your thought-to-speech gap vanishes, but there's danger here. Fast speech creates new problems if your pronunciation isn't sharp. Minor pronunciation mistakes confuse everyone. Ship versus sheep, bit versus beat, think versus sink. These tiny differences carry huge meaning. Advanced learners often pronounce words almost correctly. Almost isn't enough at C2. Native speakers notice these errors immediately. It breaks their comprehension flow. The fix is systematic. Record yourself reading. Compare to native pronunciation. Find your specific problem sounds. Most learners have 3 to 5 consistent errors. Fix those and clarity jumps dramatically. Focus on connected speech too. Want to becomes wanna. Going to becomes gonna. Did you becomes didja. These reductions are mandatory for natural speech. Master them and your pronunciation transforms. But pronunciation isn't just about sounds. It's about embedding them naturally into automatic thought patterns. Grammar perfection means nothing without cultural fluency. English carries culture in every phrase. Americans say, how's it going? Expecting good, you. Not a real answer. British people say, you all right? Meaning hello, not asking about your health. Context, humor, and tone shift meaning completely. That's interesting can mean I'm fascinated or I totally disagree depending on tone. Cultural knowledge unlocks these layers. Watch movies, read novels, follow native social media. Notice what makes them laugh, what offends, what goes unsaid. This cultural layer elevates your English beyond textbook level. It makes you sound like you belong. Most learners skip this completely. They focus only on language mechanics. That's the secret separating C2 learners from native-like speakers. Culture is the final bridge. Reading advanced texts feels different at C2. The challenge isn't vocabulary anymore, it's nuance. Authors imply ideas without statting them. They use irony, sarcasm, subtle criticism. You must read between lines. Notice what's absent. Understand why certain words were chosen over others. He was economical with the truth means he lied but sounds softer. She's confident might mean arrogant depending on context. This skill develops through massive reading. Novels, opinion pieces, academic papers. Each genre teaches different subtleties. As you read, ask, what's the author really saying? What's the hidden message? This detective mindset sharpens your comprehension. And here's the connection most miss. What you read directly shapes how you speak naturally. Writing often feels stiff, even for fluent speakers. Why? Because they write like textbooks, not like humans talk. Natural writing mirrors speech patterns. It uses contractions, short sentences, occasional fragments for emphasis, like this. Compare. It is important to note that one must consider versus, here's the thing, you've got to think about. Same idea. Completely different feel. C2 writing blends formality with personality. It stays appropriate while sounding human. Practice by reading your writing aloud. Does it sound like you talking? If not, simplify, cut unnecessary words, add your voice. This balance takes practice, but transforms your writing from correct to compelling. But here's where most learners stall. Without this hidden framing trick coming next, progress stops completely. Without feedback, you plateau silently. You repeat the same mistakes forever. Your brain thinks everything's fine. It isn't. You need correction systems. Record yourself speaking daily. Listen back critically. Better yet, use shadowing. Play native speech, repeat it immediately, matching rhythm and tone exactly. This trains your mouth and ears simultaneously. Advanced learners also need native feedback sometimes. Language exchange partners, tutors, online communities. But here's the catch. Too much correction destroys confidence. Only fix errors that actually matter. Tiny mistakes that don't block understanding, ignore them. Focus on patterns you repeat constantly. Those are worth fixing. Strategic feedback accelerates progress. Random correction just discourages you. There's an exception to this rule we'll explore soon. Conscious effort alone won't reach C2. Your brain must automate English. How? Through subconscious programming. This means massive input without translation. Watch shows in English without subtitles. Read books without stopping at every unknown word. Let your brain absorb patterns naturally. Initially, comprehension is low. That's normal. Your subconscious recognizes patterns before your conscious mind does. After weeks of immersion, phrases suddenly feel right. You use them correctly without knowing why. This is pattern recognition. Your brain filing English structures automatically. Repetition matters hugely. Hear phrases 50 times and they stick forever. This subconscious learning is incredibly powerful. But there's a critical catch most people completely ignore. Basic conversation is easy at C2. Advanced conversation is brutal. Debates require you to disagree politely. Negotiations need careful word choices. Nuanced discussions demand topic management. You must know when to speak, when to listen, how to interrupt respectfully, how to redirect conversation. These dynamics aren't taught in textbooks. They're learned through observation and practice. Notice how native speakers shift topics. They use bridges. Speaking of which, or that reminds me. They manage disagreement carefully. I see your point, but, or yes, and these phrases smooth conversation flow. Without them, discussions feel choppy and awkward. Master these dynamics, and conversations become effortless. But dynamics alone aren't enough. There's a hidden psychological edge that changes everything. C2 isn't about perfect grammar anymore. It's about thinking like a native. Native speakers use mental models for everything. Storytelling follows clear arcs. Problems get framed in cause and effect. Persuasion builds through logical steps. These aren't language skills. They're thinking patterns expressed through English. When you adopt these frames, your English transforms. Instead of translating ideas, you think in English structures naturally. First, second, third becomes automatic organization. On one hand, on the other hand, frames balanced thinking. The point is focuses arguments. These frames guide native thought. When you use them, your English stops sounding foreign. It sounds like natural thinking. This is a complete game changer, but it leads to the hardest tip yet. Self-doubt sabotages even skilled learners. You know English well but don't trust yourself. This hesitation shows. It makes you sound less competent than you are. Here's the psychological hack. Shift from "I hope this is correct" to "I know I can communicate effectively." Not "my English is perfect, but my English works." This confidence isn't arrogance. It's trust in your ability to make yourself understood. Even with mistakes, you communicate successfully. Native speakers make mistakes constantly. They keep talking. You should too. Practice speaking without self-correction. Let small errors go. Focus on clear communication, not perfect sentences. This mindset shift boosts fluency instantly. Confidence unlocks speaking power, but the ultimate fluency secret is even bigger than confidence alone. You've tried everything, yet full mastery feels distant. What's missing? Mindset. C2 isn't a destination, it's a way of being. True masters don't study English anymore. They live in English. They think, dream, plan, problem solve in English automatically. They consume English media for enjoyment, not practice. They use English to learn other subjects, not as the subject itself. This shift transforms everything. English stops being foreign. It becomes natural. You stop translating, analyzing, worrying. You just communicate, effortlessly. This mindset can't be forced. It develops through consistent immersion and mental reframing. Stop seeing yourself as a learner. Start seeing yourself as an English user, someone who happens to use English daily. This single shift accelerates progress massively. Mindset unlocks skill completely. But there's a hidden practice method that seals everything. Hours of study mean nothing if done wrong. Most learners practice inefficiently. They study random things without focus. Here's the invisible practice method. Micro-habits. 5 minutes of shadowing daily beats 1 hour weekly. 3 minutes describing your day in English beats 30 minutes of grammar exercises monthly. Small, deliberate daily actions compound dramatically. Your brain adapts through consistent exposure, not intense cramming. Build routines, morning coffee, think in English, commuting. Listen to podcasts. Before bed, reflect on your day in English. These invisible practices integrate English into life naturally. They're effortless because they're small, but their impact is enormous. Consistency beats intensity always. This strategy accelerates fluency 3 to 5 times faster than traditional study. Practice is powerful, but the final secret takes everything to elite-level fluency. You're nearly at the peak, but one barrier remains: integration. You've learned vocabulary, rhythm, mindset, and culture separately. Elite fluency means merging them into one automatic system. When speaking, you don't think about grammar rules, word choices, or cultural appropriateness individually. Everything fires simultaneously. Vocabulary flows with perfect collocations. Rhythm matches native patterns. Cultural awareness guides tone. Confidence eliminates hesitation. This integration isn't taught. It's developed through immersive practice and time, but you can accelerate it. Use everything you've learned together consciously until it becomes unconscious. Speak daily, read massively, listen actively, write naturally. Soon, these elements merge completely. You stop thinking about English, you just use it, effortlessly, automatically, like breathing. This is true C2 mastery. The journey ends here, but your elite fluency begins now. Every tip is yours. Implement them immediately. Watch your English transform.